One of the most interesting aspects about Fallout 76 is the fact that Bethesda have used real folklore stories from West Virginia and surrounding areas to decide the creatures that will appear in the game. In this video, we'll take a look at the most documented monsters in West Virginia folklore that may or have already been confirmed as appearing in the game. The Grafton Monster. This has to be the most well documented monster out of all the creatures that we'll go through in this video. The first apparent sighting was at 11 PM on June 16, 1965. A young reporter in his mid-20s by the name of Robert Cockrell was heading home from his evening shift at the Grafton Sentinel newspaper. His route took him along Riverside Drive, which follows the Target River. A few miles into his journey, he rounded a wide curve and entered a straight section of road about a mile long. His headlights appeared to shine on some sort of strange object. He described it as a huge white obstruction on the right side of the road, standing between the road and the riverbank on a cleared off section of grass. Robert decided to return to the scene to investigate after hurrying home in complete shock. Two friends joined him in the search, but when they arrived at the spot, whatever he had seen was gone. An hour's search along the riverbank turned up nothing. There were no tracks, although the grass where the creature was supposedly standing had been compacted by something heavy. While they searched, they heard an odd, low whistling sound coming from the direction of the river. The whistling seemed to follow them, but they could not see what was making the noise. Word of the sighting spread quickly, and soon created a monster hunting sensation. More than 100 people journeyed to the river at night in hopes of finding the headless horror. More than 20 searchers said they saw the creature near the river and at a nearby stone quarry. They were questioned individually by Robert. According to him, their accounts were to the finest detail of his. State, county and local police officers made a search of the area, but found nothing. The following night, even more people turned out to monster hunt, clogging Riverdale Drive with bumper-to-bumper traffic. No one reported a sighting as dramatic as the one Robert had though. Some believe that the Grafton Monster is truly headless, with others thinking it might appear this way as its head is tucked close to its chest. The Mothman. On November 12, 1966, 5 men were digging a grave at a cemetery in West Virginia and claimed to see a man-like figure flying low from the trees over their heads. This is often held as the first known sighting of what became known as the Mothman. Shortly after this sighting, on November 15, 1966, 2 young couples told police they saw a large creature whose eyes glowed red when their car's headlights passed over it. They described it as a large, flying man with 10-foot wings. It followed their car while they drove through an area near to the TNT area, the site of a former World War II weapons plant. As days went by, other people reported similar sightings. 2 volunteer firemen described it as a large bird with red eyes. County Sheriff George Johnson believed the sightings were mistaken for an unusually large heron. Contractor Newell Partridge told the sheriff that when he aimed a flashlight at a creature in a nearby field, its eyes glowed like bicycle reflectors, and blamed buzzing noises from his television and the disappearance of his dog on the creature. Dr. Robert L. Smith of West Virginia University told reporters that all of the sightings so far fit the descriptions of the sandhill crane, a large American crane almost as tall as a man, with a 7-foot wingspan featuring circles of reddish colour around the eyes. This was hard to believe at first, with this breed not being native to that region. In December 15, 1967, the Silver Bridge collapsed, killing 46 people. The incident gave rise to the legend and connected the Mothman sightings to the bridge collapse. The Flatwoods Monster. In West Virginia folklore, the Flatwoods Monster, also known as the Braxton County Monster or Phantom of the Flatwoods, is a creature reported to have been sighted on September 12, 1952. At 7:15 PM, 2 brothers and a friend of theirs said they saw a bright object cross the sky and land on the property of a local farmer. After telling their story to their parents, local adults and authorities made their way back to where the sighting had occurred. The group reached the top of a hill where they supposedly saw a pulsing red light. One of the adults said he aimed a flashlight in that direction and momentarily saw a tall, man-like figure with a round, red face surrounded by a pointed, hood-like shape. Descriptions of the figure varied from person to person. In an article based on his tape-recorded interviews, UFO writer Gray Barker described the figure as approximately 10 feet tall, with a round, blood-red, hood-like shape face, eyes which emitted greenish-orange light, and a dark black or green body. Others said they saw small, claw-like hands, and a head that resembled the ace of spades. According to the group, the figure made a hissing sound, and glided toward the group, causing them to run away. The group added that they had smelled a pungent mist around the figure. The local sheriff and a deputy had been investigating reports of a crashed aircraft in the area. A search of the site was conducted, but local authorities saw, heard, and smelled nothing. According to Barker's account, some claimed to discover marks in the field and an odd gummy deposit, which gave rise to the theory of a UFO. The Snallygaster. A large, winged creature known as the Snallygaster is said to have terrified the people of Frederick County, Maryland, and surrounding areas. The dragon-like beast was described as being half reptile and half bird, living deep in the caves of surrounding mountains. The mysterious creature is said to have appeared silently from the sky, taking farm animals and children from families. The creature was first coined by German settlers as Snallygaster, meaning quick spirit in German. The earliest tales mixed the half-bird appearance with nightmarish features of demons and ghouls. Other descriptions add features like a metallic beak lined with razor-sharp teeth. Some describe it as having octopus-like tentacles. The earliest stories claim that it sucked the blood of its victims. The Snallygaster began as only a legend in the pages of folklore until 1909, when stories of beast started to appear. Local residents described it as having enormous wings, a long pointed bill, claws like steel hooks, and an eye in the centre of its forehead. It was said to make screeches like a locomotive whistle. An article published in 1909 claimed that a man had been seized by the winged creature, which proceeded to sink its teeth into his jugular and drain the body of blood before dropping it along a hillside. The story soon spread far and wide, so far in fact that US President Theodore Roosevelt reportedly considered postponing an international trip to personally hunt the beast. In West Virginia, it was said that the flying beast almost caught a woman near the town of Scrabble, and was seen roosting in a farmer's barn, having laid an egg the size of a beer barrel. The Snarling Ow. While monsters like the Mothman and the Flatwoods Monster can be traced back to specific events during the mid-1900s, the Snarling Ow is harder to pin down. Like the Snallygaster, the Snarling Ow traces back all the way to tales told by German settlers during the 1700s. Its modern name is derived from words that, in German, describe a howl or wail, such as from a fanged beast. Like most monsters in West Virginia folklore, the Snarling Ow can be traced to a specific area of the state. The earliest tales of the Snarling Ow were told by settlers in the Potomac Valley, and told of a wolf-like beast living in the mountains around the town of Harper's Ferry. Encounters of the Snarling Ow are hard to come by. This is mostly because the stories are much older than those of other creatures. Several eyewitnesses claim to have hit the beast with their cars. Others claim to have seen it standing on its hind legs. According to the older stories, the Snarling Ow was capable of vanishing and appearing from thin air, as well as being able to change its size, a shape-shifting, vicious hound. Its evocative name is derived from Germanic words that describe a wail that emanates from a toothy mouth. According to the legends, the beast lurks along main roads into towns, challenging travellers along the way. The White Thing. Also known as the White Creature, this monster has been described as being as large as a bear, but shaped like a dog. It has sabre-like fangs, and is covered in a filthy, white, woolly fur. It first entered West Virginia folklore in 1965 in a collection of stories compiled by local folklorist Ruth Ann Musick. A large number of so-called sightings took place near Cross Lanes, West Virginia in the mid-1990s, though reports of the beast continue to arise. Its front limbs are said to be similar to those of a raccoon, but much larger. It has horns like those of a goat, and a long tail not unlike that of a raccoon. A strong smell of sulphur surrounds it. The creature has reportedly been seen racing through the woods and scurrying down riverbanks to drink. Some witnesses say it has 4 eyes. Others have heard it scream. White things, white devils or devil dogs are amongst the most historically infamous creatures in West Virginia. Almost all white things are described to have dog-like features. with others being described as humanoid creatures like Bigfoot. They roam isolated in wooded areas and move at lightning speed. Some reports describe the creature as an apparition, with attacks feeling so real that people actually feel the beast's fangs puncture their skin. However, when the attack is over, they are shocked to find not a mark on their body. The Wendigo. Possibly the most sinister figure I came across when researching West Virginia folklore. Not a great deal of information is available when searching for this creature, possibly because its origins began so far back in time that many records or witness accounts have been lost. The original Wendigo comes from northern Native Americans, with descriptions of the beast varying from person to person. The creature's appearance is that of a 5 to 7 foot tall, gaunt or sickly thin humanoid figure. It is said to have pale grey skin or fur, canine teeth, red or black eyes, very long arms, and hands with claws. The beast is said to be a carnivore, with an unending hunger. Its diet consists of any living creature. The Wendigo is said to growl, grunt, moan, and have a blood-curdling scream like a banshee. They live in dark, damp, isolated areas like caves, abandoned mines, or forest structures. According to Native American folklore, the Wendigo is actually a spirit that possesses humans and creatures, driving them mad with the desire to kill and feed. Sightings have only occurred from dusk until dawn, suggesting it's nocturnal and intolerant of light. Some say it can invade dreams, cause night terrors, and may even be able to speak human languages. One thing throughout all of these stories remains consistent though. The Wendigo is a cannibal. Well guys, I do hope you enjoyed this episode of Fallout 76 News. We'll be bringing you more information about the game each week, so do subscribe to our channel for more. Leave a like on the video if you found it helpful, and we'll see you in the next episode.